Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George. We're all George. So today I want to talk about an Ethereum killer, Solana, and some big news. It is the reason why it is up today. It's actually pumping pretty good, and also a project that I supported for quite a long time. I think there are a lot of things going for it. So I want to talk about Solana and what's going on with it. Of course, let me talk about some other pieces of news, such as a certain group trying to go after Elon. What's that all about, right? And also, of course, talk about Bitcoin. So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams every day, 11:30, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. All right, guys, let's do this. I'm like probably one of the only people not at the Bitcoin conference. And that's okay because I'm at home streaming for you guys and I love to do so. Okay, so let's start out with Bitcoin. Bitcoin came down a little bit, but overall still around the same, around the same price level we've been at for a while. 36,100. Again, it's stuck in this pennant, and people are debating whether or not this is a bearish pennant. If Bitcoin, when it breaks out, it's gonna break bottom or top, right? Obviously, we were looking like we wanted to break above, and then the Elon tweets came out, and there's just a lot of stuff that's going on, right? So is what we're seeing right now driven by technicals or by FUD, or just it's just doing its thing. It's just Bitcoin is doing its thing, right? So right now it's kind of up in the air, but regardless, we can't be driven. We can't be falling for FUD right now. This is the main message I've been talking about for quite some time, right? There's just a lot of it. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of fear in the market, and we have to be disciplined. We have to get through it and ignore it. Now, I was very, very, very glad. I was very glad to see. Thank you for those super chats. Thank you. I was really glad to see that, I have been saying that we are not in a bear market, right? And some analysts have started talking about how we may be in a bear market, right? But I was very glad to see Alicio just posted this video a few hours ago. I was just happened to be browsing, and he's like, no, we're not in a bear market yet. And I agree with the assessment. I mean, he's basically going off of what I've been saying all along. In 2017, 2013, there's been many times where Bitcoin during the fourth year, during the bull market, during a bull run, where it had catastrophic drops. We just don't remember it because now we're way past it. But as Bitcoin was coming up, there was many, and Alicio highlighted every single one, 20, 30, 40% drops. But what did Bitcoin do? Continue to go up. But if you zoom in on each one of these periods, they took a long time. This is on a weekly scale, so it seems like, oh yeah, we just dipped down and kept going, right? But every single one of these were multi-weeks. Sometimes even longer, sometimes a month or two, right? So during that time frame, yes, it seemed like maybe Bitcoin was done. Maybe we're heading into a bear market, right? And this, I believe, is one of those times where, yes, we did fall, but I don't think we're in a bear market. And Alicio makes this argument too. In stocks, with Bitcoin, right? It's just, you have these periods. Now, if you do see something that's different, and he goes on and explains this, and I'm going to link this video later on so you guys could take a look at it. But he goes on and argues that, well, if the price does change, if we do see repeated patterns of lower highs and lower lows, and we can't break above any previous resistance, and we're hovering below this, he likes to use a 21 and 35 EMA on the weekly, right? So if that continues to happen, then yeah, then we can change the definition of bear market. But right now, it's just way too early to do so. And I just agree with that. I'm not even, when I explain, I don't even go by a technical indicator like this, but I look at history. And I know history doesn't always repeat. but it tends to rhyme, especially with Bitcoin, especially with these past cycles. We have seen very, very, very similar times where Bitcoin is going sideways, could even be coming down. And of course, there's always FUD. There's always media-driven FUD. And there's always FUD just driven by your peers, by the retail investors. But doesn't mean that anything has fundamentally changed. And I'm going to stick with that. So for those of you guys that are still kind of iffy, you know what? Just think about that. Think about focusing on long-term, focusing on the future, and we will get past it. We will get past it. Now, the Bitcoin 2021 conference is still ongoing, but day two, I haven't heard of anything big. It seems like all the big speakers, every single one, was on day one. And now day two, if you look at the agenda here, just people that are talking. I guess the big one would be Mike Novogratz, which is coming up in about an hour, and Sam from Alameda and FTX. He's going to speak around 3:35, and he relates to this topic of Solana, aka Ethereum killer. Not my words, but I'll get to that in a little bit. So this is still ongoing. You know, again, I stress, I love conferences. I love when people get together and talk about Bitcoin, talk about crypto innovations that's coming. I really, 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 really wish there would be a grand, big conference like this that's catered to the normal people, people that can't afford $1,400 per ticket, even if it was $100, you know? Something that's more reasonable so that the general masses can actually attend and learn. When you have a group like this where they're just like in the space already, right? It doesn't really help everyone else get into the space. So I really love, you know, Bitcoin 2022 or something like that, or 2022A, or, you know, there's many conferences. I would love to see one where it's just catered to the general masses, right? And hopefully it works out that way. All right. Now, the last thing about Bitcoin is, of course, I talked about this hacker group, Anonymous. Maybe you guys have heard of it before. This was actually sent to me yesterday. I was debating whether I had to talk about it because I didn't want to really give Elon any more attention. But everyone is talking about it. So Anonymous, which is a famous hacker group, widely known for its attacks against governments, institutions, agencies, corporations, and even religious entities like Church of Scientology. So they have posted a video telling Elon to watch out. So I'm not going to go through the entire video, but basically they recap everything that Elon has done, right? All the shenanigans, like I like to say, all the things that he has done, and basically for him to watch out, that Anonymous is going to go after him. I don't know what that means. I don't know if they're going to try to hack his Twitter, his email, or anything else. I don't know. But yeah, that's happening right now. So, I mean, I don't know what the consequence is. I don't know. All right. So, next up, let me talk about one of my favorite projects, which is Solana. And I've created many videos already about it. Solana, you could see today coming above $40 once again. And it's up a good 7%. In fact, it was like up 10 or 12% earlier today. And you could see that within this week, which has been pretty iffy, it's up a staggering 50%. Although even at 50% growth, it's still not as close, or it's still far off from its all-time high. I shouldn't say far off. I think all-time high is about 47-ish or something. So it's still about 10 or 15%. But it's one of the projects that have come up and recovered quite nicely during our weakness right now. Okay, so it's climbing higher. It's back up into the big cap territory, $11 billion. And the way this is going right now, I mean, you could see that they can keep going past a lot. You know, Litecoin, Chainlink, Bitcoin Cash, even ICP, Uniswap will probably be at number 10, right under Polkadot, if it could keep up its momentum. So what is going on with Solana? What has changed? Well, they are raising another round of funding. So they already raised 22 something million, which is quite a lot. But the thing is, FTX Exchange and Alameda Research and the head Sam is a big Solana fan. He is going all in. Every single dApp that is onboarding and coming on Solana, it has some kind of funding from Alameda Research. I mean, I don't know the exact ties, but he really loves the project. So they are trying to, they're dubbed an Ethereum killer, right? So they're trying to really live up to that name. They're raising up to $450 million to challenge Ethereum. That is a lot, almost $500 million. They were planning on closing this round in March, but because of interest, because how many people really love them, they have opened it, and it's somewhere between 300 and 450 million, probably on the higher side, right? So you could see Sam Bankman-Fried, who is going to speak at the conference today, right? I'm excited and impressed to see the recent growth of Solana's business. They've had industry-leading tech for a while now. It's gratifying to see reality catching up. So what does that mean? Industry-leading tech. Well, in case you don't know anything about Solana, they are their own blockchain, proof of stake, and it is very fast. It can handle 50,000 transactions per second. 50,000, and that is up and running. You could test it right now. And versus Ethereum right now, which is 15 transactions per second. So it's quite amazing the difference in speed and in fees. It's any transactions is basically like almost zero, just a few pennies on Solana versus Ethereum right now. We know that. I don't have to repeat it. You guys know this is why layer 2s and EVM compatible chains are very popular. Though Solana is not really an EVM compatible chain. They have their own smart contract. They have their own language. They do have a bridge, which can bring ERC20 tokens to a board, but they are not technically EVM compatible chains. So there is some difficulty there if you're trying to port to Solana. However, they are already operational. There's really nothing to look forward to. Not like Polkadot, where they're still waiting for parachains to come aboard. Not like Cardano, which is still waiting for smart contract. Solana is already complete, right? But right now it's more about growth and building out the ecosystem and bringing more dApps on board. And they are right now doing a pretty good job. I mean, I've heard of some big apps coming, but still nowhere to the extent of Ethereum. Ethereum's developer base, the number of dApps is still greatly greatly more than Solana, but they're trying to play catch up and they're doing a very good job of it. Now, in addition to that, one big thing that may be helping them that also came out a few days ago that I think people missed is this. They have just came out with their, I guess this is the premier NFT play as of right now. Okay, they dubbed this as OpenSea for Solana, but it goes beyond that. It's like OpenSea plus Shopify. So Metaplex is just it was released just a few days ago, and this allows creators to have their own NFT storefront. So rather than have one big storefront, you can now create your own storefront and sell your own NFTs, right? And the fees are very low. Everything is done in a nice manner, and they're attracting a lot of celebrities, right? So this is their new thing that just came out. There's a lot of press about this as well. So this could also be the reason why Solana is doing very well because of this. A lot of enthusiasm and just a lot of hype around this, right? So we'll see. This is one of the many dApps that have come aboard recently, right? And every single one has Alameda and Sam's backing, right? So here you go. RAC, Grammy award-winning artist. Metaplex will do for NFTs what Shopify did for commerce, but it takes one step further, but not acting as a middleman. So this also another main selling point is Metaplex is completely decentralized, where something like OpenSea is not, and it has insanely low fees. So I mean, really, it seems like it's a fantastic, fantastic project, but we'll see if they can gain traction, because I've said right now there's kind of like NFT fatigue. There's too many marketplaces and so forth, but that is mostly on Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. For Solana, there's not that many NFT plays. In fact, this may be the only one right now. So we will see. We'll see. So that's pretty much it. Solana is dubbed the Ethereum killer. Whether or not that comes to be, keep in mind, you don't have to have one chain to rule them all. That's just not how it works in the real world, right? Although everyone wants to become an Ethereum killer, every single chain that has promise to have dApps aboard and users aboard, they can survive as their own entity, right? So people have asked me about Polygon. Like, hey, what is Polygon going to do when Ethereum 2.0 comes out? Is it just go die? No. It can live on as its own chain. Same thing with Harmony. Same thing with Phantom. And definitely same thing with guys like Solana, VeChain, Polkadot, Cardano, right? They may overtake Ethereum one day, but doesn't mean that they have to kill everyone else to survive, right? So I think Solana is definitely here to stay, whether or not they do displace Ethereum someday. They have a fantastic team. They have fantastic backers, most of all, and they're getting a lot of dApps aboard. So that's pretty much it for Solana. All right, that's pretty much all I had to say. I mean, today is kind of like a light news day. I mean, quite honestly, the last few days have been quite light with news. I mean, there's just a whole lot of trolling and a lot of FUD coming out from you know who, right? So besides that, there's not a whole lot to cover. But hopefully you guys are ignoring all the FUD and continue forward. All right, let's do some quick Q&A, and I'll let you guys get back to your Saturday. Crypto Market Garden asks, can you touch on Solana staking on exit token stock on Algorand? I can't talk about Algorand or Exodus, so I haven't used Exodus in such a long time. Someone mentioned about Floyd Mayweather, and I saw the clip where he was speaking yesterday, and he was booed because he was talking about something was going to overthrow Bitcoin, and he got all this boos. Like he was just not aware of where he was at. He was at a Bitcoin conference, so that was actually kind of funny. What else is there? Let me scroll down. What else is there? I'm George, all the way from Middle East. Thank you. What's your thoughts on FTM and Lisk? Lisk, I have no thoughts around. They had all the chances in the world to really do something, and they've just kind of died off. And Phantom, I think they're EVM compatible chain, so they have a good shot of staying around, and they do have some good dApps on board. Why did you take down an interview with Rua B Pro? He actually told me to do that. He actually told me to take it down because he was afraid that the U.S. regulators would not like it or something like that. Like it was considered promoting B Pro. So yeah, it wasn't because I wanted to. I still like B Pro. I said I'm going to support them. I don't think anything fundamentally changed with Rua the team, so I'm going to continue to do so. What are your thoughts on Cummings? Again, he's just trolling just because he thinks it's funny. Just like how he did it with Dogecoin, and now he's doing it with Cummings. I don't even want to look at that project, so yeah, it is what it is. What project launching on Cardano are you looking at right now? Right now, the one I'm focusing on is the AMMs, because they're the ones that really do well right away because they're DEX. So I think the biggest one is Sunday Swap. At least that's the one that I came across. I don't know if there's any others, but right now I'm not going heavily into any of them. In fact, none of them. I just bought Cardano, so I'm waiting for Goguen to be done before really looking at any of those projects. I like Cody. They're working with Cardano, ETC, not so much. Just kind of neutral on them. Is Harmony One better than Solana? How do you differentiate them? They're different. They're different. They're different technology, and it really depends on their traction. Solana has more dApps at this point, a lot bigger backers, but Harmony still has their DeFi projects that's leading the way, and they're still building and evolving. So very different. I sent you that article just now. Are you talking about for writing? Okay. Giving your potential, what's your opinion on Arweave? Yes. That's why whenever someone asks me about storage, like Filecoin or storage, I'm like, go with Arweave. Because Solana's storage play is Arweave. And Arweave could stand on its own as a decentralized storage. But the fact that all these projects coming on board Solana is utilizing Arweave for storage, I think that's a big thing. So yeah, I'm very, very positive on Arweave as well. Pope the benefit, BTC breaking down again, probably down to 20K. How long to recover? Let's just say hypothetically it happens. Who knows? It could be a month. It could be a few weeks. It could be end of the year. But that's assuming that it happens, right? You don't know what's going to happen. Just because everyone is saying because of Wyckoff it's going to happen doesn't mean that's going to happen. More losses occur in anticipation of a dip than the dip itself. So keep that in mind. And that is 100% honestly the truth. Thank you for your efforts, Telos. I don't know anything about the Telos blockchain. What is Telos? It sounds familiar. I think someone asked me about this recently. It's on KuCoin. Scalable decentralized finance is here with Telos. Okay, so they're DeFi project. DeFi and NFTs. Okay. Well, seems like they're working with Siemens, Microsoft, and Cisco. Pretty fast chain. At face value, it looks pretty good. And it's on KuCoin too, which means that it has that pumpability factor. So it could be good. I'll try to research that. Thoughts on Nervos? Yeah, it's just another blockchain. Another blockchain that has its own ecosystem. I mean, the partnership is not really what you think. It's just a bridge between the two ecosystems, but I don't see that being a big deal. There's going to be a lot more cross-chain with Cardano in the future. Nervos is one of the smaller ones. Like to have a cross-chain with Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain or Solana, those are bigger deals. And there's projects that's helping with that already. Are you excited about Safe Haven integrating Stripe payment gateway so clients can pay for decentralized inheritance? I don't know if I still trust that. I know what Safe Haven is about. I don't know if I trust that. If you're going to pass on your inheritance, I still say go with a traditional custodian that would actually pass it on. How centralized do you think projects like Solana and Matic are? I don't know. What makes you ask that question? That makes you think that they are centralized. All these proof of stake projects require people to have nodes and to stake, and that's how the network is powered, right? Some of them have like enterprise or some kind of elevated nodes that serve like some important things, but then there's rest of nodes that's for others. But if you look at proof of stake, normally they're pretty distributed, with a few exception. I know, like EOS was very centralized. It still is. Neo, to the point, it still is, but they're trying to fix that, right? So I think proof of stake ultimately can become very, very decentralized. Some of these projects, they started with more like a smaller setup because they just wanted to get the chain going, and then they moved towards that. So I don't know if that answers your question. Specifically, I don't know like Polygon and Solana how many nodes exist, but I remember like looking at both. It was pretty substantial. It wasn't just like 10 or 20. It was in the hundreds or thousands. Loop ring, I don't know. I'm just neutral on loop ring now. Loop ring and 0x was very hot in 2017 as decentralized protocols for DEXs, but now everyone has a DEX. You don't need to use their protocol. So now they have their own DEXs, but their own DEXs are not that popular either. So Taproot, I have not looked into Taproot yet, so I'm not actually sure what that's all about. I think it's some kind of layer 2 for BTC. But you know, layer 2s for BTC, I don't know if they're necessary. With all the altcoins out there, these are trying to solve the problems already, right? With scalability and dApps and usage of DeFi. I'm not sure you need any of that on top of Bitcoin's network. So it is clear that, Christopher asks, it's clear that Ripple doesn't need XRP at all, really. Are there other large cap coins like this to avoid? No, Ripple is unique in its own aspect. I mean, they actually do need XRP because that's their business model. Their business model is to sell XRP. That's how they make money. And they sell that to financial institutions that want to utilize XRP for cross-border payments. That's the entire business model. So they were structured to be like that. All the other projects, as far as I know, do not operate like that. They're nowhere close to that. So it's kind of different. They're kind of just on their own. Definity, CDs, okay. I've heard that before. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. Lighter news day. You know, Bitcoin is still stuck in a rut. Let's see what happens with Pennant. I know a lot of people have been, you know, thinking this is Wyckoff. It's going to go down. You know, it could be a bearish thing, right? It could happen. Or also, it might not happen. It could just do nothing and go sideways, or it could break above. Right now, we just don't know. I think there's just too much fear, uncertainty, doubt right now. There's just too much of it. Of course, we continue to get it from Elon. We continue to get it from media. We continue to get it from all these other guys that are claiming that we're going to go down, right? But the best thing to do is stay the course, invest. Invest for a long haul. If it does go down, well, you know what? We'll get through it, and it's a buying opportunity. If we don't and we continue sideways, okay, continue holding. And if we go up, well, then let's cheer for that, right? But we're investing for long term. We're holding for life-changing wealth, so we don't want to pay attention to the FUD that can make us do something otherwise. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys.